Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's going to be another episode of Making Picks, given that the 2022 NFL Draft is right around the corner. For this episode, let's bring back a old friend and extremely special guest, our friend, the CEO and founder of the IDP Guys, Nathan. Without further ado, let's get into it. Making Picks. Let's go. All right, we're back with another episode of Making Picks. It looks like what is old is actually new again. So we're bringing back a extremely familiar face. Nathan, how's everything going today?
It's going good, Mark. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I mean, everything seems like it's going like a million miles per hour, but we're getting through it.
Mm-hmm.
Another interesting topic with regards to Making Picks perspective. Now, the way that I'm kind of like looking at this is from this kind of angle. I'm being completely open and honest with you guys here. I really haven't looked at much. I am still extremely, angry and bitter. I just think the Giants have kind of like, beaten me up like a little bit here. So it's hard for me to get back into the draft. I understand, new beginnings, new regime, two top draft picks. I get it. Just get me a couple of, fat linemen who could either block or, stop the run and put some pressure on the quarterback here. And I will justify the picks when they actually win a couple of games, hopefully in September. But with that said here, I mean, this is kind of like, what you do. And I'm sure you guys are cranking. I mean, I see it because I'm also contributing to the IDP guys. You're cranking out like a lot of football content. Wanted to kind of go ahead and just ask you, what are you seeing? What are you looking forward to with regards to the 2022 NFL draft, which round one takes place on Thursday?
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the thing. My site is fantasy football based. So we generally look at the draft through the lens of fantasy football. But, it's still, I'm a Lions fan, not that that's anything great, but we do have, a top pick and then the 32nd pick in the draft. So been keeping my eye out for that. I will say that this is a less exciting draft, and I know less about this draft than previous ones because there's no really exciting names outside of like Aiden Hutchinson out of U of M, who's slated to go in the top one or two. He might fall. There's been some speculation of that. And outside of him, there's really, you don't really have the quarterbacks like the past few years. You don't have the running backs. There's, a lot of people are really high on like Rashad White and I'm blanking on a couple other names, but Kenneth Walker the third. Like these guys really have only emerged in the conversation the past couple months, maybe, since the combine. There's no one that's just like, holy crap, like generate, a Kyle Pitts where it's like a generational talent that everyone's talking about, or even like Saquon Barkley, Ezekiel Elliott of past years. I'm not seeing that in this draft. So going into it, we'll see where the chips fall. I'm excited to try and pull some picks out of my butt and still go 3 for 3 against you.
So you're kind of like, still looking at this as though, hey, look, you know what? Everybody does like a lot of prep around the NFL draft, but at the end of the day, this is kind of a complete like a crapshoot. I always get a big kick out of a lot of people who come up with and trying to mimic the Mel Kiper type of scenario here, doing a lot of analysis, a lot of projections, and where certain players are going to fall in here. And unless you're actually speaking directly with a GM, and good luck trying to get anything out of any of those guys here. I don't think anybody knows anything.
Right.
That's just kind of my perspective. That's why, from a content perspective, as it ties in with Statement Games, I don't have the team kill themselves in terms of cranking out a ton of draft content.
Right. I mean, there's guys that follow teams. They know tendencies for what the team needs, what the GM thinks. As a Lions fan, I follow, Eric Schlitt really closely on Twitter. And, with the last regime, he had a whole formula to figure out what Bob Quinn would pick and screw up the Lions with. So, there's guys out there that they get about as close as you can without actually being in the GM's brain to figuring these things out. So, a lot of respect for the NFL draft analyst community. But this year, just I don't know. I've heard that it's a shallow talent draft, and I can agree with that. Not that I evaluate players, but there's just no one exciting right now, or like an exciting place. Where it's like most teams have a quarterback. For the most part, like there's no like Jacksonville at the one spot that needs a QB, and Trevor Lawrence is coming out of the coming into the draft. Those kind of situations just aren't really there.
And look, I'm a big University of Michigan fan. I've watched Hutchinson play numerous times of the past couple of years here. I like the guy. I hope he does well. If there's anything I'm secretly hoping, is there any chance in hell that he can actually fall to almost like a giant scenario? But from a defensive edge rushing perspective, this is, or from a just a rushing the quarterback perspective, this is not Lawrence Taylor coming out of the draft here.
Right.
So I would actually is he really that exciting of a player?
I think that's where you get in,
but we'll see.
You get into the shallowness of the talent pool. So what I've heard comps for with Hutchinson and the other guy, I can't, Clivon, I believe is his first name. These guys are more of like your really good, consistent defensive linemen, but no one that's like a Chase Young, a Nick Bosa. It's the guys that you could kind of build around, but they're not going to be sexy names. They're going to be guys that just, hey, you got that spot covered. You don't need to replace that guy, but he's not necessarily going in and getting, pushing for 10 or 12 sacks a year.
Gotcha. All right, well, let's just dive right into it. You ready to make some picks?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so if you're actually checking this thing out for the first time, or maybe this is the second or third time, and you're still trying to get a full understanding of what Statement Games is and what we do, we're just a game, guys. We're actually licensing our technology across a number of different platforms. For today and for the show here, we're just back on the traditional channel, StatementGames.com. Keep an eye out on us from a social media perspective. This domain name actually might be changing slightly, like a little bit, given the fact that we are in the process of hopefully rolling out a brand new business-to-business related website in the upcoming weeks here. But the game is pretty simple. We're specifically playing in a NFL draft style contest. We're presenting you with a list of props, so hence the company name Statements. That's the core piece of our gaming technology. Those picks are going to be presented to you on the left-hand side of the screen. It's your job to go through this list, pick out 10 of them. You do need to rank your picks in order of confidence from 10 through 1. Now, as the draft plays out, if your number 10 pick becomes correct, you'll get 10 points. If 9 through 1 are incorrect, now you just have a total of 10 points. In this specific case here, you're going to be playing in a league of 12. The person with the most points from correct picks at the end of round 2 of the 2022 draft will win a prize. You will have to continue watching throughout the duration of this video to figure out what that prize is and how to become eligible for it. Any questions make sense so far? You've heard this spiel from me probably for, 3.5 years now, right?
Yep. Very aware.
And the way that I'm looking at it like this, when we started out like this newer format, we kind of started from an NBA 2022 playoff perspective.
Okay.
I'm actually going to be looking at this specifically as our first contest towards the 2022 NFL season. So the slate is wiped clean.
Ooh.
Statement Games making piss guests are 0 for 0. Mark Solino is 0 for 0.
All right, so I got to represent.
So with that in mind here, just in an effort to be fair and to give people an idea of how I've been picking, completely got killed on my last episode. I put up a goose egg. So as of right now, as we record this video, I am currently 2 correct, 4 wrong, 2 for 6 with my 2022 NBA playoff making picks kind of show. So
Gotcha.
that's kind of where we're at. And I'm also starting to kind of be a little bit kind of more generous. I will throw it kind of over to you because confidence is down like a little bit here. So we actually recorded a basketball show the other day, and since I am, showing a losing record here, I give the guests an option. You want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
I will take the first pick. I like that.
You're jumping all over it, huh?
Yeah. So I actually see one that I really like right there, just because I am a Lions fan, and I'm kind of, I know they have the last pick in the draft, in the first round, and if they go defense for the first pick, there's a lot of talk of a quarterback there at 32nd, at the 32nd pick. So I'm going to say final draft pick in the first round is an offensive player.
All right, where do you want to stick that? Now,
That
same
is,
stuff as usually, right? So although we might be having a little friendly competition, we are playing as a team.
Yep.
For this card. So
yeah, absolutely. But you want to pick the one up above that one.
Oh, the second round. Okay. So in the first round is an offensive player. Okay. Sorry about that.
Yep.
Leave it at 10.
And
Or what do you think in number slot?
Give it to me at 8.
Let's go ahead, kind of at 8. All right. I am. All right. I mean, you want to go again, or do you want me to kind of jump into it?
Go in, get in there.
I mean, I'm kind of looking at it from this point of view. A lot of buzz taking place from the New York area as well as San Francisco with regards to Samuel's potentially coming to the Jets here. I think there's been a lot of activity leading up to the draft. So I expect a couple. I am not expecting 5.5. So in terms of trades that are announced in the first round here, I'm looking at the under 5.5. I think the system completely missed the boat on it. If you don't mind, I'm going to leave that in at number 10.
Yeah, I like that one. That's not a terrible one, for sure. Let's see. I saw one defensive players. Oh, here we go. Defensive players drafted in the first round.
Am I going up or down? Did I pass it?
It's up. It's at the top.
It's at the top. All right, I got you.
So I'm. Yeah, it's a high number, but I also think that there's less. So the running backs that they're talking about are generally day 2 picks. There's a couple wide receivers that are interesting in the first round. Not a lot of quarterbacks. I really think that they could. Now, this isn't a high confidence pick, but I'm going defensive players drafted in first round over 21.5, and I want that at 5.
Whoops, and I hit a wrong button here. Okay.
There we go.
All right, let's see here. This is, every once in a while here, you just got to throw in a spite pick, right? No rhyme or reason. So, this is not necessarily something. Same thing, can I go with you? I would actually going to put this, lower on the confidence pool, but just because I see the name and I actually want to go ahead and throw up. Being a Michigan fan, I despise Ohio State, so I'm going to take Ohio State players staying the first and second round under 3.5.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
Pure spite. I'll make that 1.
Okay. Nice. All right. Go back up to the top. I'm actually liking the Alabama players taken in the first round. Is that just under, or is there an over? I thought there was an over.
There
is
an
an over.
I don't. Something's acting like a little bit funky, but here's the over. I'm not sure why that kind of jumped all the way down here. You liking the over 2.5?
Yeah, I'm liking that at the 7 spot.
Okay. And let's see here. And just, I mean, I got a 50-50 kind of, shot here.
Mhm.
So, where did I go here? All right. Yeah. And obviously, I'm looking up, more defensive players being taken than the offensive, side of the ball in the first round. So I actually think that although in theory it's a 50-50 proposition here, I think the odds are skewed a little bit more in favor. So let's see here. What about the final pick drafted in the first round being?
Well, now that was
No, I was looking at I thought it was the second round. It said first. All right. Let's scrap kind of that, and we'll go from there.
all right.
Shoot. Okay, so let's now go with running backs drafted in the first and the second round. Actually, let's just kind of narrow it down to the first round. I'll go with the under 1.5.
Nice. I like that one.
That gives us 1, 2, 3. Yep, that's going to go right on top. We'll go ahead and make the remaining 4 off air, just to give
Sure.
ourselves like a little bit of a competitive kind of advantage, and go from there.
Cool. Look at that.
Anything else that we should be looking at from a IDP Guys perspective?
Yeah, so we are doing a live draft stream on Thursday for round 1 of the NFL draft. It starts at 7:30. Go to
Nice.
idpguys.org. There's some information there, or go to our YouTube channel, IDP Guys Network, and find the video and watch with us. We're partnering up with Club Fantasy. We have numerous guests that will be appearing on the show. And we'll just be hanging out, talking about the picks as they happen, and giving a fantasy football spin from like a dynasty football perspective on the draft. So come have a good time with us.
Nice. And without kind of tipping any hands formally, obviously we've been working behind the scenes on a couple of different things here, and it looks like we will be moving forward with an expanded Statement Games / IDP Guys partnership, almost from a football white labeling kind of perspective, and where the Statement Games technology can run off of kind of your platform.
Yep.
And just touching upon it from a little bit here, I'm just wondering, can you give us like a little insight as to, and look, we've been talking about this kind of for a while, but is there like, one thing that really sticks out to you that really kind of drove you or compelled you to say, hey, you know what, I want to go ahead and give something like this a shot?
Oh, absolutely. It's the email marketing capturing of Statement Games that I am just I'm sitting on my hands waiting to get access to it, because I love the aspect of creating a drive for people to give us their emails, so that we can then go through and market, because we are very heavy into our email marketing. That's how we drive conversions on our website for subscriptions, and having that ability to even segment those emails out based off of their interests, what picks they're making, and in general, it's twofold, because we're getting that access for email marketing, but they're also staying on the site. We're giving them a reason to stay within our environment, and continue to view the site, view our articles. So I'm excited for it. I really can't wait to get that launched, and see how it helps our business and our sales conversions.
Hey, well, I really appreciate it. I guess you're no, very much appreciate it. Appreciate the plug here. I was hoping to get like a quick soundbite out of you, but hey, you know what? I will take exactly what you just said.
Yeah, there you go. It's a testimonial. There you go.
There you go. Hey, well, I really appreciate it. Let's put a wrap on this kind of episode. Take a look at the extended little clip that is going to be sharing in the next 5 seconds ago to figure out what you could potentially win should you participate in this game and go 10 to 10 with your picks. All right, Nathan, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, see you, Mark.
Take care. All right, bye. Hey, thanks for watching the video, everybody. If you made it this far here, if you don't mind, give the channel a subscribe. And if you want to win a cool prize, I'm going to be giving away a 1-year annual subscription to the IDP Guys website. A lot of great fantasy football content that you're going to be able to extract from the subscription. The value of the subscription is probably anywhere between 100 and 150 bucks. But to be eligible for the prize, let's go ahead and follow a very specific format here. Go ahead and drop a comment below. The comment below, we want to know what your number 10 pick is when you've played the NFL draft tournament on StatementGames.com. Keep in mind, it's going to be your first entry. You do need to go 10 for 10. This happens all the time, guys. So you got to be in it to win it, and it's not impossible to go 10 for 10 with your picks. Have a little bit of fun with an alternative form of fantasy sports. And if you do, 1 year annual subscription to the IDP Guys. We'll talk to you soon.